17-year-old and I have a 21-year-old. And my 4-year-old is starting preschool tomorrow. And it's pretty weird because like my 17-year-old is a senior in high school. Obviously my 21-year-old is 21. It's like, I can't believe I'm starting this 12-year journey again. Josh is like, just think though, you're a completely different you, you know? It's like, that's a good way to look at it, because there was a part of me that was like, when I look at the whole thing, I'm like, whew, forget about all the school things. Like, there's so many little, gotta do this, and you gotta do that, and yeah. But he's great. Josh is like, I will do, like, he wants to do, this is his one and only child, too, so he's like, I'll do everything. I'm like, I'll do everything, too, but I will push you to go talk to those other parents that I don't.
And the teachers.
Yeah. I'm like the old mom. They're probably looking at me like, are you her grandma or her mom? I don't know. But anyway, we had our nacho party yesterday. She got to meet a bunch of people and she's all excited. She already wants to be in like, 3rd grade. When will I be able to be with more kids? Like, just hold on. It will happen. All right, so how do we feel today? How are our bodies?
Stiff as usual.
Stiff as usual. This must be a big hiking time of year for you now that the weather is sort of,
Yeah.
or you're just like,
Lusalak tomorrow, Cannon last week.
all right, there you go. I knew there was something in there.
Hence stiff.
Right. Well, we'll work that out. All right, you can go ahead and close your eyes and we'll get started. It's a little chilly in here, but we'll warm up.
It's comfortable.
I'm sure it is. It's relatively comfortable. So if you have a block, you can take a seat on it or a bolster, however you like to start your breath work, whatever is the easiest way for you to sit up nice and tall. Oh, everybody does have blocks, all right. Just count. We're allowing ourselves to arrive in the space, on our mats, and with each other. Every once in a while I come across this little video of a clock where every 5-minute hand just says now. And that's all it says on the clock is now. And I love that as a reminder for being present and not getting caught up in the things that I was just talking about, 12 years of school. Just being present to what is in this moment, because that's really all that we have. And in that we have our breath. Our breath is always our anchor to come back to the present moment. Come into this space and we practice. And we begin our practice with our breath work just like we are now. We work to focus on the inhale and on the exhale. When the mind wanders, we just bring it back to the breath. And the mind will wander, because that's its nature. The nature of thoughts are repetitive. We use these practices to disrupt and cut through the mostly meaningless stuff of the mind. And you'll start to deepen your breath. Lengthening the inhale. holding after your inhale. And a slow, controlled exhale. Another little story about the breath and the importance of being present, the present moment. I believe it was one of the Buddha's students having some magical experiences during meditation, coming to the Buddha and saying, oh, when I meditated, this happened. And the Buddha said, well, when that happened, were you inhaling or exhaling? The student couldn't remember. And so he said, keep practicing. Because all the experiences, they don't matter. It's just the breath and being present in our bodies to the breath, to the moment. Imagine being that subtle and aware that when you're sitting here breathing, you're so aware of the thought you're having on the inhale or on the exhale. Maybe we can sit up a little bit taller and draw the shoulders back. Chin is parallel with the floor, so we're reaching through the crown of the head. We deepen the breath even more. Big inhale. Holding after your inhale. Comfortably, no pressure in the face, no tension building. And then when you're ready to exhale, you exhale slow. More breaths like that, just following the breath. Releasing your arms down by your sides, turn the palms out so you feel that rotation in the shoulders. And actually play around with turning the arms, the wrists, so you can feel the rotation in the shoulder, and it's not just turning the wrists or the forearms, it's the whole arm and shoulder rotation. And then after you do that a few times, again, we'll open again. Palms open, shoulders back, heart open, sitting up tall. Next inhale, we reach the arms out and up, keeping the shoulders down, away from the ears, but lengthening the spine a little bit more, feeling lighter through the hips. And on the exhale, we release the arms out and down, this time chin toward chest, but keeping the spine long. Inhale, reach it out and up. And again, that little hold at the top, holding your breath. And when you're ready to exhale, then the arms come out and down on the exhale, and the chin comes back down toward your chest. So a little flow here. Find your flow with the pace or the depth of your breath, moving the arms. So we start to activate the arms, the shoulders, the heart chakra. Next time you inhale and the arms come up, the palms can touch lightly. On the exhale, keep the left arm up. Take the right hand down beside your hip. Side bend over to the right side. Big reach. And unlike when we do this standing, when we're sitting, you bend into the side body. So So big bend, a deeper bend in the right arm. Maybe you turn your gaze up toward the ceiling, but again, we stay comfortable in the neck. Next inhale takes us back up, the palms touch at the top. And on the exhale, left hand comes down, we reach the right arm over, bending into the left side body. Maybe taking the gaze up, and breathe. And next inhale takes us back up. And exhale, let's release the arms down, coming off of the block or the bolster, extending our legs out in front of us, shake them out a little bit. Arms come out, let's roll the wrists and the ankles a few times in each direction to free up the joints. Maybe we stretch the wrists one at a time by pulling the fingers back. You can do both. Fingers point down, you pull back gently. Good, create a little space there. Then hands come down by your hips into staff pose, flexing your feet, bend your knees if you need to, roll the shoulders a few times in each direction. Stay with the breath. And coming back to center, let's inhale, reach the arms out and up, lengthen through the spine. On your exhale, let's all bend our knees as we fold over the legs. And maybe you tuck your hands under your calves, palms down. And as you come into this fold, if you feel pulling at the low back or any kind of strain, then come up to a point where you don't feel that. And rock from side to side. So just bring a little bit of movement to this fold so we increase the flexibility in the back side of the body. And that little bit of pulling in the low back will likely change as we move through our practice. And then see if you can release your head down a little bit more. Let it drop so you feel the back side of your neck open. Take a deep breath here. And then next inhale rolls you back up, arms out and up. And we'll exhale, hands to heart center. Take a moment here, maybe close your eyes. We'll set our intention using that same intention of gratitude that we're setting for this week, unless there's another one you're working with. You have a personal intention, but gratitude is always a great place, quality to work with. I'm going to draw the soles of the feet together into cobbler's pose now. So cobbler's pose, torso is most important. We want to be able to sit up nice and tall, so push your feet away from your body if you need to. And then open through the shoulders, the heart, drop the chin slightly, reach through the crown of the head. Breathe into the belly, so you feel that nice expansive breath. And then focus on the exhale, drawing the navel back toward the spine. And maybe you're able to draw back so much that you pull up toward the heart a little bit. So 2 more breaths like that. Inhale, expanding the belly. Maybe the breath draws up to the heart. And then the exhale, navel back toward the spine, way back. Maybe that little bit of drawing up as we now activate the digestive system. 1 more breath like that. Inhale. And exhale, draw it back. Good. We'll inhale, lengthen. And on the exhale, folding here. So take it slow again, mindful of how the low back feels. Don't go to the point where you feel strain in your low back. Just find that balance. Again, we're just warming up here. We drop the head, releasing through the back of the neck to, again, decompress the spine without pulling on the low back. Take a deep breath here. Maybe your exhale drops you in a little bit more, but again, we're checking in, making sure everything feels good. And then the next inhale rolls us up. We sit up nice and tall, draw the shoulders back, hold for the exhale. And then we're making our way forward onto our hands and knees.
couple rounds of cat-cow, just to continue to increase the flexibility in the spine. So on your inhale, each inhale drops your belly and lifts your head, and every exhale rounds your back. And you can just go at your own pace and connect with the sensation of moving the spine, breath and movement. And we take it back to neutral. Left hand comes to center. Knees come out just a little bit wider than hip width. And we're going to inhale the right arm out and up. So we go nice and slow so we connect with our twist here. And on your exhale, let's thread it through. Shoulder comes down, side of the head, threading the needle. Finding your breath, really working to tuck that right shoulder. And then if you're feeling it already, you can inhale the left arm up toward the sky. And exhale, bind it behind your back, back of the hand, over toward the right hip. Maybe turning your head toward the left shoulder. So we open the left shoulder, turn the head if you're in this bind. And then connect with the breath once again. Breathe into the belly. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Next inhale, reaches the left arm up. On your exhale, place the hand down beside your face. And then we inhale to rise. Right arm comes out and up, finding that twist again. And on the exhale, circle the right arm forward and down as we switch sides. Placing the right hand at center, we inhale, left arm out and up. Nice and slow, connect with your twist. And on your exhale, thread it through, shoulder, side of the head. Tucking that shoulder the best that you can. And if you're going there, inhale, right arm comes up. On the exhale, we bind the arm behind the back, opening the right shoulder, maybe turning the head toward the shoulder. Finding your breath. 3 breaths here. When you're ready, inhale that right arm back up. Exhale, place it down. Rising up on the inhale, left arm out and up, back to your twist. And on the exhale, circle it forward and down. Good. Hands back, wrists under the shoulders, knees hip width, 2 rounds of cat-cow. And we come back to our neutral spine. Let's extend the left leg back behind us, but keep the toes on the mat. So toes point into the mat. We're looking toward the top of the mat, so we feel nice extension in that left leg. And then using the toes to rock forward and back. So we just open up the back side of that left leg. And as we come back to neutral, inhale, lift the leg. Flex the foot, reach through the heel, engage your core. And when you're ready, right arm comes out for a spinal balance. We'll take our gaze straight down so we can lift the arm to track beside the ear. Staying firm, strong in that left arm without caving into the shoulder. Find your breath here. Inhale. On your exhale, draw the navel back toward the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Next inhale, lift a little bit more. And then we exhale to release, round your back into cat. You can even come up on your fingertips and draw your chin toward your chest to really decompress from that. And then we come back to a neutral spine. Right leg comes back, toes into the mat. Nice straight leg there. Reach your heel back toward the wall so you can feel the calf open. Look toward the top of your mat. And then you can start to rock forward and back. And we come back to neutral, lifting the leg, flexing the foot to reach through the heel. See, we feel good extension in that leg before left arm comes out. So take that arm out when you're ready, looking straight down. Right arm stays strong. We're breathing. Expansive breath, inhale. On the exhale, draw the navel back. 2 more breaths like that. And then we inhale, lift. Exhale, release. On your fingertips, round your back, chin toward chest. Point your toes into the mat. And then we come back to a neutral spine. Keep your toes in the mat. Palms are flat. We feel the weight evenly distributed in the hands. So go ahead and press your fingertips into the mat. And let's lift the hips as slow as we can into down dog. Inhale as you rise. Exhale, knees come down. We're going to do that a few times. Neutral spine. Look toward the top of your mat. Inhale, slow lift. See how it feels as you lift to straighten your legs and come up on your toes. Exhale, knees come down. This time, drop your belly, lift your head. Good. Inhale, lift, slow. Up on the toes, straighten the legs. Exhale, lower the knees. Drop the belly, lift the head. Good. Inhale, lift again. This time we're hanging out here, so go ahead and do your thing. Pedal your feet, rock your hips. Play around with your foot placement. Maybe you want your feet closer together, further apart. Every movement is intentional to create more space in the body. So take a few more breaths in those movements. Softening the neck and the shoulders, the elbows soften. Deep breath into the belly. And then we all take our foot placement to about hip width, maybe a little bit smaller than hip width. And we inhale the left leg out behind us. So keeping the hips square. We're not lifting that hip up, we're working to keep the hips square. So you can flex the left foot. Maybe take a peek at it, toes point straight down, good indication that hips are square. And we're gonna give a nice little bend to this right knee. So we activate that right leg. Give that right knee a good bend. See if you can lift the left leg a little bit more. Then your next inhale straightens the right leg, lifts the left hip, bending that left leg, opening the hip flexor. Take a deep breath. Keeping the core engaged, shoulders square to the mat. Next inhale, extends that left leg way up high. And on the exhale, take your knee in toward your nose, round your back, look between your hands, and let's step through to lunge. Good, find your lunge here. Ribs are on the thigh, up on your fingertips, looking forward slightly to lengthen through the back of the neck. Take a deep breath. Lighten up on the hands so we release pressure from the wrists. One more breath here. And then your next inhale is going to take you back to plank. On your exhale, let's lower down. So find that little shift forward as you lower all the way down. Forehead touches. Feet are about hip width apart. Inhale, cobra. Lengthen the back of the neck. High or low, listen to your body. Exhale, lower, out and down, keeping the elbows in toward the ribs. Inhale, rise back up, cobra. Engage the back side of the body. Exhale, lower, forward and down. One more time, inhale. Now from here, we point our toes into the mat and we press back to down dog. And as we're in our down dog this time, go ahead and lift and lower one hand at a time and roll out the wrist. Good. And then we come back to stillness. And the right leg lifts behind us. Hips stay square, flex the foot, take a peek at those right toes, they're pointing down. And then we bend, nice deep bend into that left leg. The left heel lifts. Remember to lift the right leg up because it starts to fall a little bit. So we find engagement. And then we inhale to straighten the left leg. The right leg lifts, the hip opens, bending that leg. Opening the hip flexor, shoulders square. Breathe into the belly. Keep the core strong. Next inhale, lifts that right leg way up toward the sky. On your exhale, knee in toward nose, look forward and step through. Find your lunge on this side. Up on your fingertips, lengthen the back of your neck. Take a deep breath here. And now we're gonna walk our hands to the left side so we come out to wide legs. Yep, so walk it to center, wide legs, toes are pointing straight ahead or maybe even pigeon-toed in a little bit for stability. Let's drop into our fold here. Of course, bend your knees if you need to. We have to pay attention to how the low back feels. And we're breathing into the belly, letting go through the whole torso. The spine is free here. The head hangs. Turn your head from side to side. Keep breathing deeply into the belly. You might even feel your spine crack a little bit as we create more space between the vertebrae. One more breath. And then hands to shins. Find a halfway lift. So either hands to shins or hands to hips. Hands to hips is going to be a little more challenging. Maybe you can straighten your legs a little bit more, lift your toes, feel the weight shifting back towards your heels and your hips. Pull the shoulders back, heart forward, reach through the crown of the head. Can your arms come out wide? Good. On an inhale, rise up to standing. Reach your arms up toward the sky. On your exhale, fold back in, flat back, arms out wide. Take it all the way down into your fold, reaching for your ankles. Pull in just a little bit. Again, bend your knees if you need to. Next inhale lifts you halfway, hands to hips. Hold for the exhale, draw the navel back toward the spine. Arms come out wide, inhale, rise. Good. So use the back side of your body for this. Exhale, dive back in, flat back. All the way in, reach for ankles, come into the fold, crown of the head drawing toward the mat. Inhale to your halfway lift, hands on hips. Feel the weight shift back toward heels and hips. Exhale, draws the navel back toward the spine. Inhale, arms come out as we rise. Press the hips forward, lengthen the spine, arms come up. One more time, exhale, we dive in, slow, flat back, long spine all the way down. Hold here for a breath. We notice the difference in the back side of the body. And then hands come down, we walk the hands forward to lift us a little bit here. Turn the feet out, bend the knees side to side, rock from side to side. Let go of tension in the legs. And then we're rolling up here into goddess. So as we roll, we tuck the tailbone. We want a nice long spine in our goddess. The arms can come into cactus. Elbows aligned with shoulders. Spread your fingers wide. Good. Can you turn your feet out a little bit more so it becomes balanced as well? And breathe. Maybe lift the toes. They don't help us. I know we try to cling like little eagles to a branch, but it's not going to help us. Good. Keep your core strong. Breathe. Maybe you start to rock from side to side a little bit. We don't have to torture ourselves completely. We can inhale and reach the arms up. On the exhale, they come out in front. Inhale, we sweep them out wide. Good. Exhale, we drop into our fold. Toes turn forward again, straight ahead as we drop in. Reach for the ankles. Draw yourself into this fold. And then decide, can you walk your hands back out a little bit? Maybe heel toe your feet out a little bit wider. Be real honest with yourself here when you do this. Toes are straight ahead or pigeon-toed, then you come back into your fold, drawing the crown of your head closer to the mat. Good. Or a block. Yeah, there you go. Find your breath. We're breathing into the belly. If the crown of your head comes all the way down, let it rest. Good. And then maybe you can take your arms and walk them between your legs toward the wall behind you. Find your breath. Wherever you are, make adjustments. If you feel yourself struggling, come away from that struggle. One more breath. And then wherever you are, walk your hands forward again. We're turning the feet out. Rock from side to side. Rise up to goddess. Inhale. Good. Either static hold or moving in your goddess. Remember, tuck the tailbone, find length in the spine, like we have a weight hanging from our tailbone. But we're reaching through the crown of the head. And you can have continuous movement of your arms or static hold. Up to you. Maybe close your eyes and keep on finding it as we build strength here. The core is engaged. The whole body is activated when we're here. One more breath. Next inhale, we rise up, straighten the legs, turn your feet forward. Reach the arms up toward the sky. Look up. We gather that energy as we exhale and dive back in. Reaching for ankles. Draw yourself in. And then decide again, do you want to place your hands down, take your feet out wider, come back to standing A, where the crown of the head draws toward the mat, just like you did before, but we're mindful of the low back. We're mindful of how we feel. Good. Maybe the hands can walk through the legs to the wall behind you. You find your breath into the belly. It's okay to keep the knees soft here. One more breath. And then we're walking our hands forward. Good. And we're going to walk toward our right leg and come into a lunge there. Good. I saw that fly too. What in the world? All right, and we're going to step back to down dog. Here we are. Easy peasy down dog. Take a deep breath. Stay here, come into child's pose, or find your flow if you're feeling it. If you're flowing, you'll inhale to plank. Feel that little shift forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise up, cobra or up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. Good. Inhale up to your toes. On your exhale, knees come down, and let's take a child's pose. Any variation to help you reset, release. Find your breath here. Slow, deep breath. Take one more breath here. After that breath, as you inhale, you make your way back through table. Good. That right leg is going to come forward again, finding your lunge. Turning the back foot out slightly, preparing for warrior one. We're going to inhale and rise up here. Warrior one. We reach to the outside of that left foot back there.
And then from this hip, we extend out and down. So take a peek at your right knee. Make sure it's tracking toward your toes. We tuck the tailbone just a bit. Engage the core. Lift the heart. Maybe we lift the gaze. Let's spiral the pinkies in. Reach through the fingertips and maybe sink down a little bit more. One breath here. Let's inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, straighten the legs. Let's turn it back out. Wide legs. Toes pointing straight ahead or pigeon-toed in. Good. Exhale. Find your fold. See where standing A takes you once again. Make your adjustments. And you don't always have to come into full intensity of the posture. Deep breath into the belly. And then we walk the hands forward, inhale, and then over to the left leg, exhale. I know you're gonna be facing the back of the room, it's okay. You find your lunge, turn the back foot out slightly, preparing for warrior one. Inhale to rise up when you're ready. Good, drawing that right hip forward. Find your breath. Tuck the tailbone, lengthen the spine, drop the shoulders, spiral the pinkies. Sink down a little more, one more breath. Engage that right glute. Let it be the rock that sustains you. Good, next inhale, we straighten the front leg, we come back to wide legs. Good, arms stay up. We're turning the right foot out. Just turn the right foot out. Exhale, lowering down to warrior two. Good, looking over the right fingertips. Find your breath. Slow the breath down. Can you drop your chin a little bit and turn it toward your shoulder even more? So you have that gaze, soften your gaze just beyond your fingertips. One more breath. Next inhale straightens the right leg. We reach out over that right leg and bring it into triangle. Your hand comes down to rest on your shin, your foot, a block. We're scooping through that right hip to try to align the hips, or stack the hips really. So shoulders, hips, knees are doing their best to be on one plane. We take the gaze up toward the left hand, if our neck is okay with that. Creating a little more space on the right side of the torso. So we're not bending in. Good. Can you press the hips forward and take the torso back just a little bit so you feel yourself come into alignment just a little bit more. Using this left arm as your anchor, we're going to inhale and come up to standing. Turn that right foot forward, arms come up toward the sky. We're in our wide legs again. We're exhaling back to standing A. See where it takes you this time. Maybe your arms, your hands walk through your legs to the wall behind you. Crown of the head tracking toward the floor or resting on the floor. Deep breath. Next inhale, walks your hands forward. Find your flat back, hands on hips like we did in the beginning of this practice. Feel the weight shift back toward your heels, your hips, your breathing. Arms come out wide as you inhale up to standing. Turning the left foot out now. On your exhale, bend the left knee, warrior two, other side. Good, looking over the left fingertips. Opening through that right hip as much as you can. Feeling the energy to the outside of that right foot, the outer edge of the right foot. It draws up from there, up through the body, out through the left hip, knee, ankle. Can you drop your chin and turn your head a little bit more? Soften the gaze. Maybe you give a little more bend to that left leg. One more breath here.
Good, next inhale, straightens the left leg. We reach out with the left arm over the leg and tip into triangle. Right arm up toward the sky. Good. Head in line with the spine. You all look wonderful. Check in with that right arm. Is it reaching straight up, or is it doing a kind of wonky off to the side thing? You can make an adjustment. Reach your fingertips up. Find your breath. Lengthen the left side of the torso. If you find yourself bending in there, maybe you slide the left hand up a little bit. Good. Nice adjustments. Next inhale takes us back up, arms out and up. Left toes forward. Last time with our standing A. Exhale as you come into that fold. Crown of the head toward the mat. Maybe arms reach through. Maybe heel toe your feet out a little bit wider. Find your breath. Breathe into the belly. Good. Next inhale walks the hands forward and then over toward that right leg. Back to your lunge at the top of the mat. Step back to plank. Inhale. On your exhale, lower down. Maybe you catch a chaturanga, that little hover. And then we inhale, rise up, cobra or up dog. Exhale, take it back. Down dog. Deep breath. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And slowly setting the knees down. Good. Coming into a seated position back on the heel, so hero. Good. And if we need to, you just grab 1 or 2 blocks, slide it through so you can take a seat on the block, take some pressure off of the knees. Good. Sit up tall, close your eyes. Let's turn the palms up here. Drop the chin, reach through the crown of the head. Back to your breath. Slowing it down, and then on your exhale, really drawing the navel back toward the spine, so much so that you feel it in your low back. You can kind of feel that reset and that engagement when you draw way back. Big expansion on the inhale. All the cells just calm down. Aware of the breath. One more breath here. When you're ready to move slow. If you're on a block, go ahead and take that out. Come into a seated position. And then if it feels right for you, maybe roll on the spine a few times to, again, continue to just reset, decompress. But we're gonna all land on our back. So if you end up there sooner rather than later, that's okay. When you do get there, we're gonna take our legs up toward the sky. You should have a block nearby, so feel free to tuck a block under your tailbone and extend the legs up. Take your arms overhead. Continue to connect with the breath. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Just keep on following. Inhale and exhale.
ready to release, bring your feet to the mat. Lift up enough to release the block. And either hang out in bridge, right? We're kind of in bridge because we were releasing that block. So maybe you roll the shoulders way under, draw the knees away from the head. We stay relaxed in the face, the neck. Or you can bring this into your shoulder stand. So wherever you want to go this morning, and maybe you do a little bit of both to really bring in that full practice. Wherever you are, you continue to breathe. Breathe into the belly, release tension out of the face, the neck. Allow yourself to be fully present. Take a couple more breaths wherever you are. Maybe you find a little more in the posture. It's like we're all in bridge, so we're lifting up maybe a little bit higher, maybe even coming up on the toes. And then your next exhale rolls you down one vertebrae at a time. And as we come down, we rock the knees from side to side, turning your head away from your knees. Taking your arms out wide, palms down. Knees come back to center, lifting them in toward the chest, keeping the arms out wide. Engaging the core as we make circles with the knees, massaging the low back. Change direction. Good, coming back to center. Let's inhale. And on the exhale, we twist to the left side. Turning your head right. Maybe your left hand rests on your legs. Breathe into your belly. For the last breath here, really on your exhale, draw the navel back toward the spine. So again, you feel it in your low back. And after that breath, you inhale back through center and take it over to the right side. Turning your head left. Breath in the twist, we draw the navel way back once again. And then the next inhale takes us back to center. Now wrapping your arms around your legs. Nice firm hold, feet next to each other, flexing the feet a little bit. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Let's inhale. On the exhale, we squeeze in a little bit tighter and hold it there. Inhale. Exhale, we squeeze in a little bit more and hold it there. Last one, inhale. We squeeze it in a little bit tighter on the exhale, hold it there. Next inhale, release your legs to the sky. Arms down by your sides. And on the exhale, slowly lower your legs
almost all the way down. So we're engaging the core. Maybe you tuck your hands under your backside for support. Bend your knees if you need to, but keep that hover above the mat. Lightly point your toes. And then if you'd like to, lift your head, look towards your toes. Lift the arms and turn the palms up so you're reaching your fingertips towards your toes. We breathe here. Good, let's inhale together and exhale, release all the way down. Reach your arms overhead, give yourself a big stretch, maybe roll your wrists and your ankles. And then make your preparations for Shavasana. And if I could bring you anything, a pillow, blanket, bolster, just raise your hand. Allowing your whole body to relax. Your face, your eyes, your jaw, neck, shoulders, chest. Let your heart soften. Your abdomen. Let your arms get heavy. Your back,
stretches that lead to bigger stretches, taking your time, all in your own time. Eventually that leads you to roll onto your right side, crawling up there. Again, taking your time when you're ready, easing your way up to a seated position, letting your head come up last, hands at heart center. One more little practice while we're here. Either taking the tips of your thumbs or the tips of your index fingers right into the center of your chest. And press pretty firmly till you find a little spot that's achy. So it's probably lower than you think. And you give that little achy spot a massage. And acupuncture, that's the sea of compassion. So we open up that sea of compassion for ourselves, of course, and that helps that radiate out to others. You can always give that spot a little massage. Maybe someday it won't be achy, but we usually have some work to do there. We bring our hands back to heart center. Take a deep breath. And if you know anyone that is needing a little extra love, you can use this time to send them some love, support, energy, healing, however it shows up for you. And you might imagine them receiving that. And when we do that, when we send out that love to another, it's not because we're trying to help, but it's because we understand what it's like to have challenges. And we'll seal our practice today with a silent Om. So just an internal Om. We'll inhale. And on your exhale, that silent Om. Namaste.
Namaste.